All right. Here we go. This is, I believe, session 74. It's been a while since we played. Just life happens. But we are back. You guys have successfully cleared the old dwarven stronghold of the dragon that had taken up residence there. You met some lovely sisters who seem to not have any cares about the demon Jakuz. Basically, like we don't fuck with him, he doesn't fuck with us, sort of mentality. And you've made your way back to the dwarven refugees to let them know that they can move back home, that the area is clear. You have all five of the gems now. You obtained two of them from the orcs who had somehow gotten them from out of Jakuz's grasp. Nobody ever bothered asking any real questions about how.
Well, not that we didn't bother, they didn't want to answer.
Yes. But you have all of the gems now. You are aware that having all five gems in close proximity does draw attention to you. It seems like as long as the crown is worn and active, it mutes the gem presence. The downside is it also completely negates magic in the area. But you guys can decide what it is you would like to do. You had a conversation with the elves. The elves seem to think that your plan wasn't the worst plan they've ever heard. There was
Like
a
spinning mountains is a lot.
yeah. There was a discussion about because you know that every demon has a weakness, and you need to for optimal effectiveness, you need to find out what exactly Jakuz's weakness is, which may require finding somebody who knows Jakuz or knows of him.
Uh, I know an old roommate or something.
Yeah. It is. Oh, apparently, according to Desi's notes, his weakness is life. So any basically life given freely needs to be used to trigger his weakness.
What if we make one of those live, laugh, love things?
Somehow I don't think that's gonna work.
That would damage me, but I'm not sure it would work against him. Might be worth a try. Could turn that into a shield or armor.
The other thing that you found out is that currently Jakuz is basically he's bound to like an altar in the city of Straka, where you haven't been to the city, but you've been near the city. It's north of Weatherstone Castle. The trick
Is that the direction the slavers were going when we were and stuff?
Yes, it
All those
was.
bad people?
Yep. So the trick is if you want to defeat Jakuz, you basically need to sever the connection between him and the stone and then strike him down before he has a chance to flee. Basically, there's a very narrow window of opportunity between when he's essentially immortal and bound to the stone and when he's completely free to run amok. There's a very narrow window in between there.
Is that window in days or seconds?
Nobody is sure. But other than that, we will pick up. You guys are currently with the Dwarven refugees, figuring out what your next steps are.
I had a out of game consideration to ask. since Tricius was supposed to be missing for a few games, we had planned alternative paths before, and I was wondering for what direction you were prepared.
I can go either way.
Okay.
If you guys want to do some exploring around, try to find that village that the dwarves had previously traded with, you certainly can. If the goal is to use the dwarven forge, it is going to take them some time to get the forge up to temperature.
And probably set the place back up.
Exactly.
So the question is, do we want to escort the dwarf back to the mountain? Because it's gonna take us. If it's gonna take them some time, we can always escort them back and then go look around if we find more things that could help us.
They do have some training, which will take some time. We could do it on the way.
Oh yeah, they need to train you. Oh, we could start. We could start by going back to the Dragon's Den and seeing how we can manage to reclaim the place. See how you can be trained, and if we really have to wait a while before they back up, we can go check on those places around there.
Sounds as good of a plan as any.
I just don't want to send them back home and go explore around, and then we come back, something did fall on them on the path, and they never got home. I'd feel dumb.
My understanding is the forging of this weapon will require magic that they have. Magic they have agreed to teach me.
Yeah. We need magical fire for it to burn hot enough for the star metal to be manageable. Not sure exactly. I don't know smithing as much as you do, but that's what I remember. And from what I spoke with the colorful witch from the wood, the poison I'm gonna make is gonna need to be eaten on magical flame. So we might as well do 2 for 1, 2 birds with 1 stone. Can heat up my preparation on the fire that we use to forge the star metal.
Agreed.
Not yet sure how I'm gonna include life in that poison, but I'll find something.
We'll also need to get the star metal from home to the
Yep.
forge.
Step 1 is getting to the dwarf home, making sure they're set up, see how much time they're gonna need, and then we can make an expedition to go fetch the material we need. Because we left a bunch of stuff at home because we could not carry everything. We have cockatrice poop that could burn in that fire, and also we can ask dwarf about black coal. That would burn hot enough too. Maybe they can find some or have access to some. And even when we've done all that, it's gonna take you a bit of time to forge that. If I remember from the time of making Desi a snazzy hat.
I expect so. Yes.
So we gotta stay on our guard while we do that. Um, right now you're the one wearing the crown, I think.
Yeah.
If you want to learn some new form of magic, you might not be able to do that wearing a crown. So we'll have to separate carefully the object from each other's before the crown is removed and put on somebody else's head.
Let's get to the forge first, and then we'll cross that bridge.
Sounds fair. I mean, it's worth checking the other encampment, but depending on what we see when we're set up at the Dragon's Den and we need to go back home, we can plan our route according to that. Everybody's all right with that. Can warn the dwarves that we're gonna escort them back to home. See where we go from there. And if we can convince a couple of dwarves to caravan with us to the village, I paid some people to extract some metal from the nearby metal vein, so we might have a bit of copper, gold, and silver that we could trade with them.
Well, copper's not much good for weapons. Gold and silver's good for buying things.
Yeah, just we haven't found iron yet. We found those three.
Oh, okay.
If I had iron, I would offer iron, but we haven't found any yet. But I figure some metal is better than no metal.
I'm sure we can find a use for it.
Yeah.
Humans and elves tend to like things pretty.
Maybe we can use that to trade with some of the other village you talked about to buy more metal.
Yeah.
Dwarven craft gold thing should fetch a fine price to get us some metal.
Well, we'll see. Well, we're ready to head out in the morning, so.
Great. We're gonna escort you up to there, make sure everything's fine, and you can reclaim your own correctly. I expect some of the pathway were blocked. Hopefully, the kobolds were scared enough to not go back in. But we'll see about that.
Kobolds aren't a problem. More of a nuisance, really.
Yeah, they got on to serve the dragon, but they kind of fail at doing that.
In the dwarven language, the word for kobold translates as dragon rat.
That's strangely very accurate.
All right. Well, we're ready when you guys are.
Well, let's head out in the morning.
Right.
Let you guys finish packing up.
Right. So in the morning, it is a nice, pleasant day. Good day for traveling. The skies are clear. There's no rain. There's a light breeze. Obviously, today is going to be a good day. And as you guys head out, the dwarves got up like super, like stupid o'clock in the morning. Started like getting all their stuff packed up and are ready to break camp basically at first light. They are somewhat eager to get home. All right. Nobody needs to lead the way, but somebody does need to keep watch.
I'm gonna chart a course to avoid the magic forest.
Gonna go around the magic forest. Okay. So
Not that I don't like the girls, but I'm not sure the dwarf are gonna keep decorum around them, so I don't want them in a bad situation.
Just think of how much time we could turn back if we fed a whole thing of dwarves to the forest.
Let's not do that.
I can keep an eye and scout ahead unless somebody feels he's better suited.
Well, I think that's all you.
Okay. I mean, if it was night, Colby would do a great job, but since it's day, we're just gonna pack him up on the horse and let him sleep.
All right. So yeah, give me a scouting roll.
Well, I'm gonna push that because that's not a good start.
It's a great start.
Well,
All right.
fuck me, I guess.
So yes. So wanting to avoid the hag forest, the easiest, quote unquote, easiest way is to basically travel through the mountains and go around the forest. You guys have traveled through this way before, so it's not a difficult pass. I mean, it's mountainous terrain, but there's travel paths and decrepit roadways and the like. The journey it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's uneventful. Periodically, you do see, like higher up in the mountains, what look like long, like very old, kind of tattered flags flapping in the breeze. Your guess would probably be they're to mark a specific path, but the flags are like so tattered and ruined at this point that they've obviously been here for a very, very long time. But as you travel, the young dwarf Gruely, the bard, is basically seems to be working on like a little kind of like dwarven homecoming song. And it's still very rough, but the chorus is catchy enough that as you guys are marching on, he starts like kind of like humming this tune. Some of the other dwarves start to pick up on it. And before long, he starts like putting some words to it, and there's like it's like a march rhythm sort of thing. He's quite talented for such a young minstrel. It's basically like the dwarven equivalent of singing like 99 bottles of beer on the wall as you travel. But it does
Yay.
it does actually start to get into more of a not quite a history, but more of a remembrance of that they're going back home to where their ancestors were from. That sort of song. It starts off kind of like goofy, and then it gradually gets more serious as the day goes on, and the realization starts to filter through everybody that they are in fact going home. And as you travel, Brosalind will start to teach Trustius the basics of magic. Oddly, it seems like the very basic fundamentals that she's teaching you are like kind of vocal intonations. Basically, pitching your voice differently to speak to different elemental powers.
Interesting.
It's a very, very old dwarvish magic that is not much practiced anymore. But yeah, it's as a demonstration, basically, she kind of starts to kind of chant sing this song, and you can see like stones in the vicinity starting to kind of move as she motions.
That's elementalism, right?
Well, actually, she knows magma song, stone song, and elementalism.
Oh, I don't know what the songs are.
So she's very skilled at elemental magic, and she'll explain that she can teach you basically kind of generalities that are a little bit more useful, or she can teach you songs that are useful when you're in the mountains, or songs that are useful when you're someplace more dangerous like a volcano.
I need songs that could kill a demon.
Well, that is more. I know it will sound odd since I'm trying to teach you about the elements, but that is more natural magic than sorceress. There are those who say that sorcerer's magic comes from demons, and the demons would not teach them the means of their own destruction.
I do know how to find them. Not necessarily kill them. But perhaps your magic can help me in forging this weapon.
Oh, certainly. We can do that for sure. I mean, you look young. You've got time to learn. It took me probably 5 decades to master. But elves are smart. You should be able to do it in 2 or 3.
You might be surprised.
She just kind of smiles.
And I don't need it mastered. I just need enough to make the weapon.
Well, at the very least, we can assist you in making the weapon, even if you don't quite master the skills necessary.
I'm sure between elven craftsmanship and dwarven craftsmanship, we'll come up with something.
When you say elven craftsmanship, there are like chuckles amongst the dwarves.
Trustius just kind of nods at Desi's helm. May look fancy, but
as long as it can take a blow that would normally knock your head off, it's a good helmet. It looks a little.
Are you a smith that could make a better?
It looks a little ornate. Like, I'm pretty sure if you basically filed off those wings and stuff, you could probably add some more structural integrity to it. Don't know what it is with elves and winged helmets.
We move faster than you do.
That's true. The second quarter day, somebody can give me a scouting roll.
I'm down to 5 dice.
5? I mean, I have 5.
I mean, I can break my eyes again. Hopefully, do something better.
Go for it.
Better than me.
Well, I'm having a bad day.
Okatai is just not having a great day. So as you travel, you do
I
see.
can only smell dwarf. I don't smell anything else.
Periodically, you do find like these very small caves. Like the diameter is probably about maybe 2 or 3 feet tall. The dwarves do give them a fairly wide berth. Kind of keep casting their eyes at them as they like deliberately go out of their way to not get within like 10 or 15 feet of the cave mouth. Like, these filthy little creatures called whiners. They're not much in a stand-up fight, but you get too close to one of those caves and their like ropey arms reach out, grab you into the darkness.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
straight up fight, nothing. But
They're not looking for a straight up fight.
no, and their arms are so long.
Ugh.
Like I was with a hunting party once. We came across one that we didn't notice, and we were a good 6 feet, and the arms just grabbed my buddy, hauled him right into the darkness.
Yeah, let's give those thing a wide berth.
So, just be a lesson. If you're in the mountains and you come to like a what looks like a really tiny cave, although
Do
I
not
mean,
trust.
and he'll kind of look at Desi though and say like, she's probably safe. I don't think she'd fit.
Are these things like my
Maybe.
size?
Oh, I don't know anybody that's actually ever seen one. But the cave looks like Ryzen could fit in the cave. He might have to like duck his head or scrunch his shoulders a little bit. He could fit in the cave. So probably somewhere around halfling size. So like a halfling with 6 foot long, very ropey arms.
Yep,
That's just
I don't,
creepy.
I don't want to deal with that. That's not. Nope.
I mean, they're a great little thing to tell your young ones when they won't stay in bed, because you tell them that, the whiners can travel through the cave network and come and live under your bed.
Yeah, that would set them straight.
Yeah. Keeps the little fuckers from getting up all night.
Yeah. Go the fuck to sleep.
That's right. Speaking of, though, we should probably find a place to camp. Probably not too close to these caves, though.
Yeah. Have you ever heard about bugs that eat minerals?
Bugs that eat minerals.
Yep.
There's ones that eat metal.
Yeah, it might have been metal. I haven't got close enough to those bugs, but one of the silver ore spot that we liberated was there was some of those bugs nearby. Never could get a grasp on their whatever the fuck they were about, but yeah, thought you might have a problem with those before.
Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, the ones that we've seen, like they'll eat ore, they'll eat metal, they'll come for your weapons.
Yeah, and they burrow in rock and like tiny holes. Just come out and heat metal. The kind of.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So it was not just going insane. Actually a thing. Okay.
No, they're these creatures called ore wellers.
Or it's not a priority right now, but probably have to deal with that at some point. Bigger fish to fry. But your whiner made me think of that. Tiny holes, horrible creature. You know.
Yeah. The problem with the ore wellers is they're not like a creature exactly, but they kind of are.
It's like a
But-
big bug.
Oh, kind of like a hive of smaller bugs, but all fused into one organism.
Oh, that's why they were. Oh, okay. This explains stuff.
But they don't have any they don't have any weak spots. They don't have any like vulnerable spots. No internal organs. You can't stab them. As a matter of fact, you try to stab them and they just fucking eat your sword.
Huh.
Good to know. Which creatures are that?
Oh, they're called
The ore. Sorry.
they're called ore wellers.
There was a nest of that close to where we got the griffin eggs.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. I mean, as near as we can figure, they basically just kind of like break down different ores into, stuff they can use, and then they build up to critical mass, and then part of the hive breaks off, and poof, you got a new one.
How do you deal with that if you can't hit them with metal? Set them on fire, or
Well, they kind of burn. I mean, they are made out of metal, so they kind of burn a little bit. Let's smash them with a club. That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, since hammer should work.
if we ever go back over there, we need a big wooden mallet.
That's why most mining teams have a couple of hammers with them.
Well, if everything goes well, we'll have this quest of ours complete, and we won't have to worry about those things.
All right. I like your enthusiasm.
Let's.
Most
I'll
of us
try to
intend
find
to
us a
leave.
spot. Sorry.
Most of us intend to leave this island. We finish off the cruise.
I can't even imagine what it would be like to be off the island. Eh. If you make it, you'll have to send us a letter.
I'll
Can't
try
believe
to-
you guys have
Due to the fact that there's so many dwarves and they have they're used to this, nobody has to roll for setting up camp or anything. The dwarves basically get to it. They find a good spot away from whiners, fairly close to a potable water supply, and they just get to work setting up camp. So the evening, you guys have to do what you would like.
How far are we away from that cave?
You'll probably hit the cave by tomorrow evening.
The one with the whiners?
No, that one is a fair ways back.
Okay.
I'm so glad Coley's not here. I would like to train this evening.
Alrighty. What would you like to train in?
I would like to train in. I don't know. I don't know what those song things are.
Are they all path of magic? I know there's a path of stone. And
They are sorcery spells. Basically, elementalism, magma song, or stone song. Stone song is in the core book. Elementalism is in Bitter Reach, and magma song is in Blood Marches.
Let's do element. I've started that already, so.
All right. So that will be a wits roll.
Wits. Wits roll with a trainer?
Trainer just reduces the cost.
Wits. Is that insight?
Nope. Just a wits roll.
Oh, just straight up wits. Oof. Well, I guess it's the same.
Well, the big thing is it's because it's an attribute roll, you can't push it. But no need. Apparently, Trustius is an eager student.
He's good at magic, I guess.
So it'll be just the base cost, not the 3 times.
So, level 2 is 6, right?
Do you already have level 1? You do have level
I do, yeah.
All right.
I got it from my, one of the undead I made.
All right. Just have to see what spells to add on.
I've been saving XP for this trip.
All right.
The only spell I know is Fireball is level 3, because that's the one she shot us with and blew herself up. And you all want Trustius to have a Fireball, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Fire has always worked very well. It's a good thing you have a
Uh,
helmet that makes you immune to fire, eh, Dizzy?
right?
Somehow, feel feels appropriate.
So for level 2 spells, there's Heat of the Moment. Basically, make an opposed roll with the number of base dice equal to twice the power level against inside of the victim. You cannot push. If you win, the victim goes berserk and must attack. Everyone in near range. Keep fighting until they are broken, or until all enemies are fled or broken. No effect on monsters.
That's a good spell.
Rock Storm. Manipulating the element of earth, you hurl stones and rocks at an enemy in combat. Damage is done to strength equal to the power level. Armor works normally.
Oh, it
Flight.
affects monsters at least.
Yep. Flight. Using this spell, you can fly instead of run for 1 round with a movement rate of 2, so basically 2 zones. Casting of the spell does not count as an action in and of itself. Reach additional power level, you can fly for an additional round or bring another person with you.
Oh, sweet.
Parch. Draw the fluids out of a living victim. They immediately become thirsty and suffer damage to agility equal to the power level. Armor has no effect.
That sounds like a trusty spell. I don't have access to them, so you'll have to drag them on if you get a chance.
Yeah, I just did. Should have all of them there. I think I added all of them. Oh, don't think I did flipped. There we go.
So many spells.
All right. What is anybody else doing during the evening?
Go for it.
When we had talked about the fact that we have a training ground, I've used it in the past. Pardon me. I've used it in the past to get the extra XP for marksmanship. I'm just trying to scroll up in our chat to find it, but there's a bunch of other stuff there.
We had 2 building, one for marksmanship and one for melee.
Melee.
Melee, and you can both of those skills you trained in. So each of those you could have a cost break of 1 if you want to raise them.
I've already done it on marksmanship.
Yeah, I think we determined last time that you hadn't used it for melee yet.
No, I haven't.
So if you want, you can save 1 XP when you raise melee.
Sure, that'll leave me with 1 XP. I will go from melee 4 to melee 5. Because I've got 25 XP, and I will just save the 1.
There you go.
I'm sure 1 XP will be good for something eventually.
So Tressis is off learning magic, learning how to draw the liquid out of a victim's body. I mean, target's body. Desi is doing her Conan-esque, on the edge of
Training montage.
on the edge of the mountain with the sword training montage.
I mean, it's either that. I don't think there's any talent I want to raise again. Just double check Path of the Shield. Nah, not worth the bother.
But only 32 spells, Trussius? You're slacking.
That's getting up there.
What would Okatai or Ryzen like to do in the evening?
I was thinking of checking with the other dwarf, see, talking with people, chatting around, trying to check up if there's anything I could learn from those people.
They could teach you. They could teach hammer fighting.
Yeah, I think Risen got that one in the bag with his
Yeah.
big dragon killer hammer.
And what's her name? Rosalind could teach Smithy, but she's busy teaching Trustius magic.
Yeah, which is fair. Priority on teaching Trustius magic.
What would Rosalind like to do in the evening?
I actually want to possibly spar with Desi while she's doing her montage, or spar with a dwarf because I want to spend. Would it be 15 XP to raise my melee from 2 to 3?
Yes, it would.
All right, then I want to spend that 15 and improve my melee by 1 to go up to 3.
Perfect. So we can have like a Ryzen and Desi training montage.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because we're definitely same skill level.
Well, I like to
Whoa,
think.
whoa!
With your strength of what?
It's not the strength that counts; it's the persistence and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Keep telling yourself that, little man.
Not that old. That's Goldie.
Little man.
I heard old man.
And big word count.
No. Caldy is definitely old man.
Okay, yes, that's what I wanted to just make clear.
Yeah.
So the training montage like starts on a close up of Desi, as you know she's going through like the sword katas, and then the camera kind of pans back until you can see like Ryzen, because he's so much shorter than her, basically mimicking her movements as well. I mean,
Fighting with a sword and fighting with a club are not the same.
You know what I'm kind of picturing now? I'm picturing Desi is Xena and I'm Gabrielle, and they're like sparring on a cliff, or they're doing their katas or whatever, and she's just a million times better than me.
If I don't find anything I can learn, I'm just gonna work on my grimoire. Just make another page.
okay. Yeah, unfortunately, the dwarves do not have any druids.
Oh yeah, I assumed.
It's not
But
their
they-
thing.
Yeah, they might have had a trick or two that I could have been useful in a fight with a demon. But I understand that they're not mainly fighter. They're just a village of refugee. So,
Yeah, like they do have some fighters. Like I said, they can teach you hammer fighting. They can teach. Oh, jeez, what's the name of it? It's been so long since I looked at things. I can't remember the name of. Player's handbook. That's what I want.
I'm 1 XP and not enough to try to learn by myself the path of magic to see the future. I'm not gonna try to do that on my own.
Path of Fate?
No, there's a magic path, path of awareness.
Oh.
Actually, they could teach shield fighter.
Nice.
But yeah, they've got some worries with them, but by and large, they are like townspeople.
Yeah, I still enjoy the time spent with them and speaking with them, but at some point I'm just gonna take a place and scribble down more pages on my grimoire.
We do have something. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead.
We do have something to discuss before we retire for the evening. If we're going to make a weapon and utilize the gems, then the gems are going to have to be removed from the items.
Yeah, that's the plan in the end?
We should probably discuss that with the souls residing in these gems. Certainly brief.
Well, I feel
Or
it was
Andra.
implied last time we spoke with them of our plan, but we might have want to make that clear.
I expect that Desi and Andra would like to have a conversation.
How what?
A conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know it's doable because the Orc Empress did it with the brooch. She took the hourglass and turned it into a brooch.
Oh. Hmm.
So it should work, because from what I understand, the brooch still have the same power as the hourglass had. Probably when we put everything in the sword, should work. I say sword, but I don't know which form that weapon's gonna take.
Very
Yes,
likely a sword, yes.
All right, so once the training montages are done, just so you guys know, much like setting up camp, you guys don't have to keep watch. There are plenty of doors around to pull watch duty and kind of do all of the menial sort of stuff. But what would you guys like to do, or are you just going to sleep at night?
Sleep sounds good.
I'd like to sleep too, but I'd like to have a talk with Justice teacher before going to bed.
All right. So yeah, she's like getting ready for bed. She's like, what can I do for you?
We talked about this a long time ago. Just wanted to give you a heads up before we get back to the mountain. Still gonna need your help to try to fix one piece of gear I've been carrying with me. Might prove to be a challenge.
Well, I'm always up for a challenge. I mean, I'm teaching an elf.
Yep, that's pretty out of your usual way, I'm sure. I have a sword that rust any metal that it touched.
And that'll make, how is that even forged? Oh, I suppose. Make
I
a
don't
mold
know.
make a mold out of stone, maybe.
Yeah,
Put the magic on it after.
Oh, maybe.
I don't
Okay.
think it's the material. It's just it has been enchanted, or I don't know. I don't know how magic is put into objects, but it's hard to fix because of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could probably talk to the metal and coax it back into place.
I've grown fond of it, so
Yeah,
I thought that I'd warn you, so you can devise a plan for it, and we get back to your place.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I can probably find a stone or something that would make a sufficient hammer.
Sounds like it's could work.
I mean, definitely be a challenge. Won't be able to use any of the traditional tools or anything, but yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Don't want to ruin any anvil on it.
Oh, that's okay. I my ancestors used rocks. I'm pretty sure I can do the same. Good piece of granite or something. It should be sufficiently firm.
I heard tales of enough creature that eat metals so far that, yeah, having something made out of stone doesn't seem that foolish.
Yeah, very few things eat stone. And if you run into something that eats stone, run, because it's able to dissolve your flesh too.
Yep, yep. We're gonna have a clean up a bit of that dragon could eat metal. It's slime slash bile was pretty caustic. Gonna be a thing.
Oh, lovely. Well, it's okay. We got some young folks here that don't know the meaning of a good day's work, so we'll put them to work cleaning up the dragon leavings.
Yep, they're gonna learn. Oh, thank you. Your help is appreciated.
No
I'll
worries.
let you sleep.
Thank you. But
I'll let you sleep.
yeah, I'll see what I can do to fix your sword when we get back to the forge.
Thanks.
Anything else during the night?
I do have the brooch on me, so
Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna have manifestation while we sleep. Right now, Risen has the staff, Dizzy has the sword, Precious has the crown.
I think Trustius has the armor as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But no, the night is quiet, peaceful even. The next morning, everybody gets up. There's a little bit of a drizzle. It's a little bit on the cool side, but it is summer, so cool is relative. Everybody can roll for their food in the water because the dwarves did not have enough to outfit everybody. And also everybody can hit their rest button.
Yay, resting.
Yeah, because the scouting yesterday broke.
It must be nice to be a player character and get a full night's rest every now and then.
Only short rest for you.
That's the player.
Role-playing game let you live fantasy, like speaking multiple language, surviving on a gig job, and making friends and having a good night's sleep.
Sleeping through the night.
Yeah.
I've been watching. I can't remember the name of it now. There's an anime on Netflix where people are like eating the monsters. I'm like, that would be me if I was a D&D character.
Oh yeah, let's go into the dungeon to taste whatever
Was
that
it?
monster tastes like.
Delicious in Dungeon. It's great because it's not just like,
It
oh,
is
we kill
so
the monster
true.
and cook it. They actually explain the technique.
We had a game that was based on something like that. Like we were just adventuring to taste things.
But yeah, I'm like 2 episodes behind still. And it's funny because I don't watch anime, but enough people told me you should watch this. And I'm like, yeah. And it's like part D&D fantasy show, part cooking show. It's great.
It's
Ah.
like it's like if anime was like, okay, Chris doesn't look at anime. How can we make it specifically for him?
Pretty much.
Kind.
All right. So in the morning, you guys know that you should, barring anything unfortunate, you should reach the old dwarven settlement by nightfall. The trick is, since you're kind of guiding the dwarves, how are you getting there? There's like this hex that you guys have gone completely around the whole time.
Could we go through that X and stay in the mountain part?
I mean, you'll be along the coastline.
Just because that other X here is where the orcs were. So I'd like to avoid that X if I can.
Well, that sounds like a great reason.
Since we've been all the way around it, I think that is where the village of Pernty is. I think.
I thought it was more around here, but I might be wrong. Somewhere.
Maybe? I don't know.
Kobe is trying to make a map. I'm
It
going by
makes sense
nose.
to explore around where we're going to be staying for a while.
Yeah. Be nice to know what's going to eat us. Or what we should eat.
So yeah, I propose we go through that part so we avoid the
Mhm.
orc encampment. If they're still there. They might have moved, but I don't know. If we want to go through that space, we need to scout it first to make sure we don't fall on the orcs.
We
Sounds
can
like a
lead the way.
plan.
Right, so you're going to the unexplored hex?
Yep, finally.
So I need somebody to give me a lead the way roll at -1 because of the drizzle, and somebody to keep watch.
I'm gonna lead the way. Somebody wants to keep.
Is keep watch -1?
No.
Oof.
We cannot scout. We today is scouting is cursed today.
I can scout.
Every scout roll so far, even pushed, has given us nothing but pain.
Headaches as far as the eye can see.
Good things that there's like 27 dwarves taking a look around too.
Yeah. The dwarves are all busy singing their song. It's being refined over time.
They're so loud.
The trustees can't hear anything. God damn it.
But as the dwarven voices kind of like, peter out, and then there's like this one guy at the back that's like, second verse, same as the first.
Fuck off, buddy.
But in that little lull between rounds of the song, you hear a very like kind of haunting flute melody kind of drifting on the airwaves.
What do you make of that, right? You're the musician or dancer. Whatever it is.
Can't even imagine.
And Ryzen, I mean, as a minstrel, it sounds like a flute, but it's like in a much deeper register than what a flute should be.
Have I heard of any instrument that would do that?
Your instinct is that it's basically like a big flute. like kind of like the bigger an instrument, kind of the deeper it sounds. That's why a piccolo is so much higher pitched than a flute is. So yeah, if it is, because the flute has a certain kind of airiness to the sound quality. So it's got that to it, but it's deeper. So you would guess it's like a very large flute, but it's being played beautifully.
And where is it coming from?
Give me a scouting roll as you kind of look around. So yeah, as you know, the door's about to sing. You're like, shh, 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 pipe down. And you kind of like, tilt your head, trying to like follow the sound, kind of follow it till you can get your eyes on something. You can see in the distance, kind of like shrouded a little bit by the drizzle and the rain, this very large, but obviously human-esque figure, kind of sitting on like an outcropping on one of the mountains, and seems to be playing the flute. Given the fact that you can see them from this distance, you would guess that person's probably between 20 and 30 feet tall.
Ooh. I kind of quietly nudge and point in the direction of the giant playing the flute.
That's large.
Ooh.
The fuck is
Time we
that?
see something like when we've been through the march and the or unfortunate naval experience, we saw stuff in the distance that felt large. Aside from the giant sea monsters, don't know what's lurking over there, but it's not the first time we see them.
There is supposed to be a giant village up north here somewhere.
If they do music, they can't be all bad.
I
Can
don't
be
know
bad.
about that.
They can be bad, just not all bad.
I mean,
I'm not suggesting going to speak with them.
that looks bigger than the ones that had the hogs.
Do you remember in what direction was the giant capital?
North. That's all I remember.
They talked to us
I don't
about
remember them being
the
specific.
city of giant. If we're close to the city of giant, this would explain that.
Maybe.
Do dwarves and giants get along?
No, not generally. We don't. Been a lot of blood spilt in these mountains, but that one doesn't look like a mountain giant. It's too big.
Do you know anything about a giant that grows to that size?
No, I mean, generally speaking, I mean the giants that I've dealt with I mean, the ones that live in the hills are a little bit smaller, kind of dumb. The ones that live here in the mountains are a little bit, you know, I mean, 10, 15, maybe 15 feet tall. Guy's easily twice that. So, my guess would be that he's not from around here.
We should speak with him.
Sure.
He will see us regardless, and we could
Oh,
later
yeah.
on.
True.
I mean, so far all of their encounter with giant were
Mhm.
civilized.
Maybe it'll turn to stone.
That was a troll, but
Close enough.
Yeah,
What's going?
poor little stone guy.
Well, Bryson, I suppose. You're good at talking. Most of the time.
Yeah. All right. Is this guy like in our path? So there's no way we're gonna like avoid him, even if we like were to go on our merry way.
no, you could go around him fairly easily.
If you don't want to encounter him, we could probably go around him. It's up to you guys.
Well, I've said my piece.
He's probably gonna know it, and knowledge is power. The more we know, the better we're harmed. I won't fault you for avoiding him, but I don't see the harm in trying to talk with him.
All right. I am going to confidently walk up to him. I am not making any attempt to be sneaky or anything because last thing I need to do is startle and possibly anger a giant.
All right. As you start to approach, the music stops, and he kind of turns, and as he does, you can see kind of like his full size. He is huge. He's at least 30 feet. Very muscular. Wearing like simple traveler's clothes, but made for his size. The flute that he's playing is probably about the same size as Desi.
Well, that's horrifying.
That
And
explains why it's so deep.
he kind of looks and sees kind of squinting. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I did not mean to bother you."
Oh, you're not bothering me. Me and my friends were on our travels, and I heard your wonderful flute playing. And as a minstrel myself, I couldn't help but be curious to find the source of such lovely notes.
Oh well, thank you. I am paying my respects
To who
To
or to
what?
what,
To
if I
what?
might ask?
to my distant cousins in these hills.
Are you on your way somewhere?
In a manner of speaking, I've been saying my goodbyes.
Are you dying?
Well, I am one of the last of my people. But the seers have they have seen what's to come. They have seen that old powers are awakening. And they have seen the death of my people. So, we are saying goodbye.
Old powers. Old gods, perhaps?
Perhaps. I am not religious, but I do know that there are things beyond understanding.
Are there many of you left bearing this grim omen?
Oh, there are still some in the village. There are some of us that have gone to the different lands to pay our respects to long lost family members.
Desi just looks slightly confused.
What seems to be troubling you, little one?
Huh. I haven't been called that in a long time.
I'm
uh,
coming from him. I think it's fair.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and like he hasn't gotten up or anything. He's just sitting, and even if he's sitting, Desi doesn't come to his shoulder.
Oh no, yeah. I don't know. I've never been one for just kind of sitting and letting death take me, I guess.
Oh, when the time comes, we will do our best. But the elders have seen. They know that our time is coming to an end.
That's really vague, though, right?
If the elders are right, and we didn't say our goodbyes, what sort of people would we be?
I don't know. Is there anybody around here other than us hearing you say goodbye?
I'm sure my cousins in the hills have heard the song.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Can I
Are
ask
they
where
How
your
far it's carrying?
are they smaller than you?
Most are.
Yeah, I assume. Just that if your cousin were as grand as you are, I assume we would have crossed their path.
If it turns out that we are able to resist the awakening, then we will make our rounds again to say hello again to our cousins.
That sounds fair, honestly.
Do you know what's awaking?
Well,
Become awake.
Older things from before my time, things from before your time.
Before your time. Desi's looking at Trustius. You're old as dirt, though.
I am much older than you. Yes. We've been over this many times.
Mm-hmm. But there's something out there older than you.
Several things.
There are things older than mountains. So probably things like that's just Is there any story, legend that you would like to be remembered by others while you are gone?
No. Those who need to remember us will. In
Would have been
time,
remiss to not offer.
in time, whatever comes after will hear the tales. They will filter. People will stumble across our ruins in the north and wonder what sort of creatures created these. That's enough of a legacy for us.
And at the first we crossed path that knew of the coming of their end, and I just felt it would be appropriate to carry the story for you.
There is no need, but thank you.
You said your village, your city were up north?
Far to the north, where the temperature is more hospitable to my type.
Maybe before the ends come for you, we will make our way north.
Perhaps. The elders have not indicated when our time will come, just that it is coming.
Would we be welcome or would we be intruding?
No, all are welcome in the halls.
That still sounds really vague. Like, do your seers normally see things, I don't know, like a week ahead or a month ahead or decade ahead or 17,000 years ahead?
Depends on the import of what they view.
Okay.
Seer might be able to help us with dealing with our problem.
Uh-huh. Or we might be the problem.
Hopefully not, but
I mean, yeah, but
we can always be the problem if we put enough effort in it. I try not to be, but
speak for yourself.
that's why I use I, not we.
But yeah, that feels really vague, bud. Sorry, what's your name?
Luvog.
Luvog. I'm Desi.
And I'm Oktai. Pleased to meet you.
It is a pleasure. I do not often converse with the smaller folks.
We don't have many opportunity to speak with the larger one. But all of the one I had in the past were pretty civil, so when I have a chance, I try it.
Well, if you find your way to our halls, you will be welcome.
I might
And
want to consult with your seers. Maybe they can help us with dealing with the great evil we're trying to put to rest.
Perhaps.
Yeah, something that everyone has forgotten about. Maybe the sole domain of seers.
If you make our way to our hold, Gale will be able to get you an audience with the king if you wish.
Shit.
You said north. Could I ask you to point me more precisely? I can add it to things we know. Oh, yeah. That's as north as it can be.
It is as north as it can be.
Oh. Don't know what we'll have to do before the end of this, so keep that in mind. The
Sorry,
wisdom of
where
your
did he?
people on the just ear.
Oh. Oof.
Yep. We still have ground to cover before we visit that island, even just a little bit.
Just a bit of distance.
You will want to dress warmly.
Yeah, I assume.
But
I wonder
travel north
Sorry.
until you cannot go any further. And in the highest mountains where the snow and the ice are permanent, that's where you'll find us. Should you arrive in time.
when we go back home, if the griffins are ready, maybe they're used to cold place. Wonder if the island we're looking for are the one north from where you are. Other things on my mind. Sorry about.
And as he kind of turns his back, kind of like to where he was looking up before, and kind of picks up his flute again. And he'll kind of like look at Ryzen and say, like, "Would you care to join me?" And then he'll start to play this tune again.
I'd be honored. I don't have an instrument, but I can try improvised singing.
That would be appreciated.
I will come up with a song that is not grotesque or, involves bodily fluids, but actually is somewhat respectful, that talks about a valiant fight that might not end the way you want it to, but something that's still noble and honorable that at least feels right to you.
Why don't you give me a performance roll just to kind of judge how good your performance is?
Oh dear God, we're doomed.
With disadvantage for being civil.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's really good. So yeah, as he's playing this flute tune, and it is like it's a fairly simple tune, but very very well played. Like it's not complex or anything. You kind of get the the feel and the tone and the the emotion behind his song, and so Ryzen starts to sing along, and it's impressive.
Was I just gonna sit there and listen?
Yeah, for sure. Might even take my helmet off. Be respectful.
And as it goes on, some of the dwarves start to join into, until it becomes this kind of like communal thing. And when he's done playing, he kind of sits for a moment, he kind of gets to his feet, and then you get like the full sense of just how big this gentleman is. And he like reaches into his like coin purse and pulls out. Well, to him it's a ring, but to anybody else it's probably more like a belt. But it seems to be made out of solid silver. Like just kind of like pass it to Rise, and he doesn't like hand it to him because he realizes it's kind of big. I mean, just kind of put there. It says like, "Thank you."
Thank you. You don't have to do that.
Amongst my people, it is customary to give gifts to artists.
I thank you for your gift.
And I hope that perhaps the elders are wrong, and we will see you soon.
I hope you find peace and that the time you have left is longer than you expect.
Thank you. And then he'll kind of like shoulder his travel sack and start to make his way.
Did kind of imply there's something after whatever cataclysm happens, so that's good.
Mhm. Lots of the big folk we met had a pretty grim outlook on things to come. But I think it's the second time I hear about a giant city, and I'm pretty sure it's not the same second time, the two times. And the giant we saw the first time were smaller than him. I wouldn't be surprised if it was not the same town? Species? I don't know.
Okatai, you'll have plenty of time to explore this island after we.
Oh yeah, I'm not dragging you anywhere. I'm just wondering. It's just living while you know that living is pointless because it's all gonna end soon. I mean, it's basically the definition of living, but I don't know. The melancholy of, yeah, this is the end. Let's go thank everyone and notify them that we're going. Strange.
It must be part of his culture. You understand that it's unlikely that many or any of us will survive the confrontation with Jakuz, yes?
Yeah, as I was saying it, I grapple with the fact that it's basically living. It's basically what we do. We're gonna die.
Probably.
It might be longer than we expect, but it's coming.
Depends.
Hopefully some of us see the lights of the day Jakuz die.
If we're lucky, his hold on this island will be broken before we fall.
Mm.
And if that's the case, then at least we'll die with the side effects of having him control this island. Hell is not a place you wish to journey to, I assure you.
Oh yeah. Let's at least make sure that we'll be free if that becomes.
And death is only temporary, regardless, for some. Let's get back to the forge, I suppose.
Yeah. It was a grim dirge, but I'm glad we met the fellow.
Ryzen, do you need help carrying that belt?
Hey, Chris, I added it to my character sheet. What weight class would it be? I just stuck it as regular.
It would actually it would be a light item.
Oh, okay.
So that's the a silver belt.
It is a silver belt. It is worth 100 silver pieces.
Oof.
Ooh,
Wow.
Holy.
I was half expecting him to give you one coin and the coin be bigger than you.
But you guys pick up and continue on your way. I need one more scouting roll.
Ryzen's the only one that's made.
I mean, I'm back. My brain is back up. I can try again, but it hasn't been good so far.
I mean, you have the best dice, I think.
I'm back at 6 dice.
Oh yeah, it's better than mine for sure. I think I've only got 4.
Let's try. Finally, the curse is broken.
So as you guys travel along the rest of the way, it's starting to get dark, but you are definitely in familiar territory now. You guys have been this way relatively recently. And before long, some of the dwarven scouts and everything come back. It's like we're there. Like, the ripples start to make their way down the dwarves and stuff. They start to pick up the pace, even though it's getting close to dark and everybody's been marching for 8 hours and is kind of tired. There's now this push on to get home. Kind of puts a little spring in their step. And yeah, before probably right around be time to start looking for a place to camp anyway. Maybe an hour or two past that. You guys arrive back at the dwarven encampment, or the dwarven ruins. It doesn't take long for Brosalind and some of her acolytes to basically start coaxing some fires into some of the braziers and stuff. Start getting some fires going. Start making the place look lived in again. And it's surprising what just some light and things will do, and everybody's spirits are just completely buoyed. And every one of the dwarves, as they start going into it and checking it out and seeing what's intact and what's in ruins and what needs to be fixed, and every single one of them stops by to say thank you to you guys.
I'm really glad to see this place alive again.
And Brosalind and her acolytes, basically make right for the forge so they can start getting the fire stoked, because they know it's going to take quite some time to get up to proper temperature.
We're talking hours, days, weeks.
Oh, 7-8 days tops.
Okay.
I mean, it's usable at lower temperatures, but that's how you get elf stuff.
Elf stuff?
She kind of points at your helmet.
Stronger, lighter, faster, yes.
Okay.
Better balanced.
Artsy fartsy.
Do I strike you as somebody who would wear something that's artsy fartsy if it wasn't
The best fucking piece of equipment we've seen so far.
Sturdy and functional.
She'll kind of look at the helmet, which is definitely elven in make. And then she'll look at Desi and she'll arch her eyebrow.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Desi will kind of cross her arms.
It's fine.
Where artsy fartsy shit.
Again, she looks at the helmet and arches her eyebrow.
Would it be better if I smeared dirt on it?
Please don't.
Probably. If you put
What
enough dirt,
difference does it make to you? You're not wearing
if
it.
you put enough dirt on it, it's an extra level of protection.
Really? Because that hasn't seemed to work with the rest of me.
Well, the rest of you is human,
Uh-huh.
not built dwarf tough.
Alright, well, if you're so good, you can make me a helm, and I'll compare and see whose is better.
Do you want me to build a helm, or do you want me to fix the magic sword? Or do you want to help me, or do you want me to help build the demon slaying sword? Because I can do all of those things, but not at the same time.
Yeah, you should probably help Trustius with whatever thing it is he wants you to make.
And
We'll need to go back and fetch the material back home.
and Lord knows elves need help. But she does say that with like
Does
a
he?
really big smile.
Desi's gonna kind of turn a bit so Trustius can't see her face so well before she grins.
Dressius mostly looks confused, right? Like, because his charisma's so low, he's like, but elf stuff, in his brain, he's just like, but elf stuff's better. Why? What? This doesn't make any sense. Why is this dwarf talking like this? Clearly addled.
Elf stuff is objectively not better. But it's prettier. Right,
I
and
don't have anything dwarf made to compare it to.
I don't know about elven stuff, but Trestius stuff is way better than whatever humans can muster.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But while you guys are having this discussion, and she is her and her team are basically getting the forge up and running, and it's a big forge. Like it's the sort of thing like you see in like fantasy movies when the dwarves are making stuff. The sluices start going and the molten lava starts flowing. Like it's a huge thing.
This looks a lot bigger when there's light in the room. I didn't know it went all the way up there.
I mean, last time some of the tunnels were collapsed. We didn't take the time to uncollapse them. Like there's
Well,
other
no,
rooms.
and I mean maybe your eyesight's probably definitely better than mine, but like I couldn't see that the thing that's running down starts up there.
Oh yeah,
I just knew it started in the dark up somewhere.
The only
I get you.
Shit.
the only person who can see the full magnitude of things is Scully.
Yeah. And everything's big to him.
Yeah. Oh, poor Cully.
That's what he gets for not being here.
But Skogan will come and say like, we can't really have a welcome home feast yet. So we need to send some hunters out and gather some supplies. So it's still rations tonight. But at the very least, we'll have it in the feast hall.
They're probably gone, but you had an army of orcs on your doorstep a few days ago. So whoever you send hunting, make sure that they're aware that there might be organized orcs around.
That's okay. Dwarves and orcs have an understanding.
Just making sure.
Oh, thank you. But let's go have a feast, or I guess a stand-in feast.
Well, let's raise our glass to your home.
Like,
Whatever is in our gruel bowl, at least we can raise a glass.
I mean, we'll see what we can dig up here. There might be some kegs of ale or something kicking around.
Have you ever found? Do you know where the guys who asked you to fight the beer bandit ended up? Maybe he has some beer to sell.
Fucking beer bandits.
I don't know. I was busy at that time. That seems like to be a whole thing. Your beer bandit moment. All you guys told me that
Fuckers.
somebody
Arrows.
who had beer hired you. So
So they will. The dwarves will put on a feast of rations. And they do find some kegs of ale that have been here since they left. Crack them open, like toss out 2 of them because they've spoiled, but they have 3 that they can reclaim. And other than that, it's just basically feasting and it's like that feeling of finally being home.
We did something successful.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Every now and then.
That's worth noting.
if it was another game, we would gain back a bit of sanity right now. But let's have it here.
Actually, I will treat this as basically returning home to a settlement, and everybody gets a willpower.
Technically, now it's a settlement.
I mean, we did clear it.
We built the function today.
You guys could have actually had claimed it and kicked the doors to the curb and said no.
Could have. Didn't. Probably for the best.
But yes, the feasting goes on like to the wee hours of the morning. Like everybody's just kind of like running on adrenaline and excitement, and ale.
Trustees is being very impatient while everyone's wasting time.
Well, the forge is starting to eat up.
The fort should be ready for what you need it for in about a week.
And I suppose we fetch the star medal.
Yep. I think it's our best bet.
We'll need it. We need weapons and armor for everyone.
We have dragon parts that we can leave here. A couple of strange material that we found on the way, like the burn threes, like carbonized wood that we could use. Got some dragon scale. We can just stock up stuff here and go fetch whatever we're missing home.
That is the next logical step.
Yep. I think one of the village we were told would be on the way back. I think somewhere around.
Pertney? Or Pernty? I don't know. I've just got a note saying that we haven't been there and we've walked all the way around it.
Yeah, there's a town somewhere in the middle of this.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where, but somewhere there. So, propose we chart a course. I can probably leave Rustbite behind, get it fixed.
Yeah, I don't need the forge to be at full operating temperature for that, so I can start to work on that probably as soon as tomorrow.
I'll uh, I'll be careful with Cena while Frostbite is getting fixed.
Yeah, I'm good with maybe stocking up on food and water, arrows, all that kind of stuff if they have it.
They can easily get it for you. Yeah, like they don't need to rely on rations anymore. They're going to start sending their hunting parties out, so they can top you guys up food and water to a D12, and they've got enough boyers and stuff for their crossbows that they can provide you with arrows.
Yay!
And then I like the idea of doing like a cross country. If you look at the island map, there's a big gap. We kind of went in a big circle.
And I think there was a city somewhere there who we might try to find that. I'll leave a few things here so I can unload on weight, so we can carry the star medal back.
Yeah,
Like,
I
if we
have.
go-
Sorry, go ahead, Nina.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if we go down like at an angle, we could either hit the Mystic Glade or the Gold Ore and get like 5 or 6 hexes checked out as we do.
You could stop by Hythe. It's a nice place.
Oh yeah, charming. I mean, it might be now. There was a very angry necromancer headed that way, so
there might be another vibe night right now.
it might be a charming place filled with very dead things, or it might be a cinder ball of very dead things.
If the undead are still there, they were very polite. So
I have room for 1 pound or 1 unit of something.
If we have a place that we can stock stuff here, we can lots of stuff we can leave here that we'll need for the forge that we don't need to carry with us. So I can load my ores with the stuff we need to bring back here.
Yeah, the dwarves will happily let you store things here.
Like
spare
dragon
chainmail.
We cannot leave all the spare chainmail here. We need to bring some.
Yes, we do probably need to bring a set at least.
I'll leave one. There's one brand new that we can leave here. There's one broken that we can leave here, but I'll keep at least one change of clothes for you.
Yeah, the ones I'm wearing, the chainmail I'm wearing right now, pristine condition.
Okay, good.
Hopefully I won't go through 2 sets on the way home. I mean, we'll see, but hopefully not.
Wonder, did the dwarf ever hear about something called the Night Brother?
It doesn't sound familiar at all.
Still wondering what that was. Still not sure what the blue flame was either.
Blue flame sounds like it might be a military order or religious.
Well, the orcs took the blue flame as their symbol and make the military flag with it. But it also was a spirit of flame lived in a wood that told the orcs that he could be the emperor of the island or something.
It does make sense with that Luvag mentioned about old things waking up.
Right. Yeah, I thought it might be related, but that thing did not like me.
Well, I would expect that all things have a different point of view.
Oh yeah. Well, if it's not something that rings a bell to you, we'll keep looking. Somebody took the time to try to warn the Night Brother about them. I don't know what the Night.
Well, that's let's call those elder things a tomorrow problem.
Yep. Let's finish our drinks. Have a sleep. We'll be leaving to go get the material tomorrow. You can set up things and start putting everything back in order, and we'll be back soon.
Okay.
I'm gonna stash up the dragon scale and the iron dragon parts.
Okay.
And one of the chainmail.
Perfect. So yeah, you guys can stash anything that you want to stash here, and they will give you food, water, and arrows, and torches.
Oh yes, torch.
Ooh, torches.
Yay!
I need
I can still
rope
carry a
to-
pound of stuff. Do you want me to carry more arrows for you, Trustius?
To have too many arrows.
I have a full quiver of arrow, and I don't have a bow, so I can top him off.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use them, but
And Chris, if I want
it's
to drop,
handy when he's shooting.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that, Mark?
if I want to drop my throwing knives and leave them here, that's different from doing the garbage can remove, right? Is there something else you do?
Yeah, just make note of it someplace on your character sheet so that you don't forget that you left them behind.
Well, I've got this section that says dropped, so
Yeah,
that's all.
if you put them into the dropped area, that should do the trick.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how though do I do that?
Oh, I think you can just drag them.
All right, I will try.
Yeah, if you hold down left click and drag, you should be able to drag it down.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, every Foundry game does it a little bit differently, so I'm always like, which one is it?
All right, so I'm leaving my throwing knives behind, otherwise I would be encumbered.
Okay. So yeah, so you guys eat, drink, make merry, have fun. No need to set a watch. The dwarves are on point here. And in the morning, you guys set off into new and unexplored territory.
Ooh.
Everybody can hit the rest button. No need to roll for food and water because the dwarves will. They'll pack you up like leftovers from the night before, like little doggy bags, like adventurer bags.
Little care packages.
Can you imagine how bad dwarven rations would be?
I
Like,
think.
here's a boot and here's some gloves.
Oh, I can't remember where it was I was reading it. Somebody was talking about like what dwarven cuisine should be like, and they point out that in most fantasy games, dwarves are highly resistant to poisons. So a lot of dwarven cuisine should be things that are like toxic to humans.
I posted that in our chat.
There we go. That's where it
All
was.
those
Yeah.
must- All those
100
mushrooms
ways to
and
do.
mosses are not
Yeah, I was going to say a ton of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Should we salt that? No, salt is a rock. I don't think humans eat rocks. We should not. So everything they make for humans is just fucking bland because they think they're just gonna kill us for their spice.
Yeah.
Why does that human look so spacey? I don't know. I just gave her some mushrooms.
Although, to be fair, in the I've got the D&D cookbook, and there's some actually really good recipes in there, and some of the dwarven stuff is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's not dwarven, but it's, you know what I mean. It's like that kind of like earthy umami style stuff. It's some good recipes. And I appreciate the fact that they have a drink in there called the Mind Flayer. I think the Mind Flayer and the Delayed Blast Fireball are like the best names for drinks.
I love delayed blast fireball for a drink.
Alright, so you guys get ready to set out. It is a pleasant day. The temperature, no rain, no breeze, no wind. And you stare at the jungle.
I like that, no.
You stare at the like heavily forested vista below you. And somebody can give me a lead the way, and somebody can give me a scouting.
I'm on lead the way. Uh,
Oh,
Hey, being fed has its perks.
apparently, good night's rest and being well fed. So yeah, as you guys make your way down from the mountains, and into the forest, and it's been a while since you guys have been in a forested area. Travel is, I mean, it's slow going. It's very thick here. Very a lot of undergrowth, a lot of, make sure you don't trip over roots and things of that nature. Keeping your eye open for squirrels and all of that fun stuff.
squirrels.
But Trustius, you see a faint glow in the underbrush, probably about 40 or 50 feet off your path. Like a slight kind of like a bluish green glow.
Kind of like the color of the flame thing.
No. More greenish than that.
Well, he'll stop everyone up and point it out. Does it ring any bells to him, or do we have to get close?
Somebody can give me a survival roll.
To determine what exactly the survival roll?
Yes, to determine what that might be.
Okay.
Okita, yes, you recognize that. That is the glow of basically it's a type of fungus called glowing green caps. With 2 successes, they are in their unprocessed form. They are lethally poisonous, except to orcs who consider them a delicacy.
Oh. You were talking about unprocessed form. Is there a way to process them?
Yeah, if they're sliced and dried in the sun, the poison evaporates.
Okay, I think it's the second time we get those mushrooms.
You have encountered these before.
Yeah, and we dried them up.
Yep.
And that was pretty good. I was afraid that we would get poisoned, but it worked.
Is there a way to get the poison out of them?
Oh yeah, you just
Like
let
to
them
be able
go.
to use the poison?
You might be able to brew it and distill it into like a syrup or something.
I was just wondering, since you tend to poison your harpoons.
Yeah,
I was just wondering.
I do like to use poison.
I just don't know how much you have, or how hard it is to find poisonous shit to put on them.
Well, I'm always looking for more tricks, because some things are darn terrible to try to poison. But I think it's safe for us to pick them. You just be careful. So might as well. So, gonna make a little crush, and I'm gonna harvest some mushrooms.
Okay. So yeah, you guys can harvest them. If you want to process them for food, they need to be cooked. But also, in their unprocessed form, they're excellent to trade to orcs.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep them on process for now, and we'll see if we cross the path with other orcs, or if I try to make syrup with them. How did you call them?
Glowing green caps.
Okay. Do you need us to do some kind of foraging roll?
Nope. No, you got 2 successes on the survival, so you're good.
Okay.
For the second quarter day, which direction would you guys like to go?
Don't remember exactly where the people told us they were a village, but I think we'd go that way because I think it's around here. So, right. Due east?
All right. So again, I need a scout the way, or lead the way and scout.
Scout away and lead them.
Scout the way and lead.
Uh-oh.
We're back to classical scouting.
I mean, Caldy's got to have our second scout, right?
Yeah, usually Colby's are better scout, but Colby is currently being stuffed in a bag